Okay, I got cut off last time, so I'm going to continue now. So you're also going to have to be able to do mass spec um, graphs and be able to look at them and determine which one would be accurate with whatever you're looking for. So it'll usually indicate to you either possibilities or it'll want you to say, hey, which one of these matches with a certain element. So you can tell here we're looking at copper. Okay. And so if that's the case, you can look at the periodic table and you can get the atomic mass for copper. And the atomic mass for copper is 63.55 grams, and that's equal to, and what we do is they can put this like relative number of atoms, or they can say like percent abundance. They can say relative abundance. And so what we're going to look at here is, let's see what this, to me it's just always hard to call it. To me this looks like 70%, and this says 69%, whatever. So since it already tells us 69, you're going to have to eyeball it. So I'm just going to pretend like I had to eyeball it and say that it's 70%. So 0.70 times the mass it gives us here is 63. Okay, plus my other one is the percent. Well, it tells us 31. I probably would have just said it was 30%. So I'm going to say 0.30 because it has to equal 100% anyways, times 65. And let's see, if I calculate that, let's see how close I get to my 63.55. So 0.7 times 63 plus 0.3 times 65. And I get 63.6. That's pretty close. And I would say that that checks out. So if they asked you to figure out, which one it would be representing that, that's how you'd calculate that. All right, we're moving on. We're going to clear that screen. Next one. Okay, we've talked about this a lot, so I feel like this is on you guys' mind and you're pretty good at it. But the graphs for the different orders we have. So if you'll remember, we have 0, we have first, and we have second order. And our graphs usually are going to be concentration of, let's just say A. We've talked about concentration of A versus time is 0 order. And you should remember that the slope is negative, so for 0 order. And then for first order, it's ln of A versus time, and that is a negative slope as well. And then second order is 1 over A versus time, and it should be positive slope. And again, the slope is equal to K. All right, so obviously these guys, the K is negative. This one's negative K, this one's negative K, this one's positive K. So that's just some things to know. So, I mean, they might give you a graph and they just have you look at it and say, okay, like they give you this and they say, what order is it? I mean, that's straight up, you can see it's 0 order because it's concentration of A versus 0. Now, what you have to be careful with is if they give you something like this and they give you that, that is not 0 order because it's not a straight line. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's got to be a straight line to be the correct order for that. And I feel like you guys are pretty good at the graph stuff. Remember the formula for slope, and it's silly, but y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's how we're going to get k. So if they don't, they're not going to give you the equational line. You're going to have to pick 2 values and figure that out. Okay. All right, and then a couple other things. Here's what you should study. So you should be able to write rate laws, either from a graph or from data. You should be able to solve for K from a graph, like I just showed you, or with data. And you should be able to do appearance or disappearance. So remember, the reactants are going away and the products are being formed. And so that's the type of stuff they'll give you. They'll give you like the rate overall, and then they'll ask you, how does it compare to one specific element? And you can look that up and just see. You can probably find videos and stuff about that, but that's definitely know about that. All right, I hope this helped. Bye, guys.